Good afternoon, everybody. The Crisis Center of Tampa Bay responds to more than 183,000 requests for help every year, from forensic examinations and counseling for rape victims to family counseling, the 211 crisis hotline, suicide prevention, and a whole lot more. They have an ambulance service. It's called TransCare, and it's facing a crucial vote during tomorrow's public transportation hearing in Hillsborough County. Here to explain more about what's happening and why you should care, we've invited David Broughton, who is the president of the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay, and also Mr. Terrence Ramatar, who is the vice president of the TransCare ambulance service. So first of all, thank you so much for coming in on such short notice. I know tomorrow is very important for the Crisis Center. Explain to viewers exactly what is the issue with the ambulance service.
Well, thank you, Lisette, for having us. You know, TransCare is vital to this community in two ways. One is when people call 911, most of the time it's not a life-threatening situation, and so the system will send a basic life support unit, in particular TransCare, out to take care of them. It can be a car accident, it can be you just have a terrible pain. So there's a good chance that we're the ones who are going to take you to the hospital to get you someplace safe where you can be taken care of. The problem is that the expense of providing that service is now starting to exceed the revenues that we get in, because of, you know, Medicaid, Medicare have cut back. People have large out-of-pocket deductibles. Everybody understands that. The second thing is that TransCare is a social enterprise. It's one of the ways that the Crisis Center supports itself. Over the last 5 years, government funding has declined from 65 cents out of every dollar we get to 25 cents. Yet at the same time, the number of needs that come to us have more than doubled. And so TransCare is one of the ways, the revenues that it generates, that we're able to make up that delta, and so that we can continue to be there anytime anybody is in crisis in Hillsborough County.
Terrence, specifically, what is it that you all are asking that Public Transportation Commission tomorrow in terms of the services?
Yes, you know, our license only permits us to respond to 911 calls. What it restricts us from doing is transporting folks from hospital to medical facilities, and thousands more need our services. This is our one opportunity to expand our services, sustain what we're currently doing in the 911 system, and really continue to grow and sustain our profits to the Crisis Center.
Is this a special treatment, or is TransCare the only ambulance service in the state that cannot do the transfer from hospital to hospital?
Yeah, Lizette, we're the only one in the state, and as far as we know in the country, that has a restriction from doing this type of work. Ambulances should be able to transport, whether it's from 911, whether a hospital needs us, a nursing home, a dialysis center, and that's what we're seeking to do, is to open up our service to anybody that wants to use it.
This is such a critical vote, and I know a lot of people say, well, this ambulance service doesn't really apply to me. Why should the viewer at home be concerned?
Well, like I said, it really applies in two ways. If you call 911, chances are TransCare is going to come pick you up, and you want to make sure that we get there in a timely way, that you don't have to wait half an hour or 45 minutes if you've got a broken leg and need to get to the hospital. Secondly, is if you have some other kind of life crisis. You mentioned several of them. You know, you're depressed, or you don't have enough money to pay for your utilities. The Crisis Center exists to make sure that no one has to go through crisis alone. And without TransCare, we couldn't do that.
Well, thank you for coming. I know an important day tomorrow. We will give you at home the information if you would like to attend, if you would like to take part in this important conversation. The Public Transportation Commission hearing will be tomorrow, August the 14th. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning on the second floor of the County Commission building. And if you would like more information on the many services that the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay has, here is the number on your screen. The main number is 813-964-1964. The crisis hotline, as David mentioned, is always open, taking calls. It's 211, and their website is crisiscenter.com.